In this month of February, Streaming Things is brought to you by Chester Copperpot, David Malfara, Rabid Dog in a Barbie Car, Jose Ruben Cruz Rodriguez, Thomas Alexander, Aaron Layton, Emmy, Valerie, Stanton Valentino, Crystal Trujillo, John Collins, Ghost, Andrew Gray, Jen Robinson, Kate, Chloe Richardson, Kalisha Reeves, Kiki Newton, Kevin Strother, Jeanette Murphy, Casey McCain, and the one and only Enza.
Welcome back. My name is Chris.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, continuing our coverage of a little show called The Last of Us on HBO Max. This is episode 7, Left Behind. And if you're new here, welcome. All and sundry already love you. You are welcome here.
You're welcome here. We will give you a warm embrace and say, you are one of us.
Out of many one.
E pluribus unum.
If you're watching on the YouTubes, you might notice Steve's shirt. I'm wearing some classic Streaming Things merch, but Steve is wearing a shirt called Pills, baby. And it's
great harmony.
Some artwork with Ellie and Joel. All of those are available. I don't know where the fucking link is to this website.
It's in the show notes.
It really is. It really is. And
both in podcast form and YouTube form. Check it out. It's from West River Printing Company. They are also Stream Fiends, and they are our merch person.
And merch people.
Merch people.
They are our merch person. I twitched. It's important to note that shirt is only available for a limited time, probably another 3 weeks or so through the Last of Us run. I imagine maybe we'll keep it alive a week after the show ends. Steve's got, or what's your name?
Jimmy.
Who the fuck is Jimmy? Funny story. I know we're late on time. It's very late on the East Coast. But the reason I occasionally say,
who the fuck is Jimmy?
Yeah. So I think I've told this story before you guys knew who Jimmy was. But filming my very first film, we were on set. There was like 15 extras, 10 or 15 principal cast members, and Andy and I were
them damn dames.
Yeah,
those damn dames.
Yeah,
starring me.
Jimmy was the lead. We were on set. It was chaos. I didn't know how to direct really, but Andy and I were co-directing. I was doing a pretty good job. It was a pretty big crew for such a random production.
Toot your horn.
It was in the middle of the night, and we just filmed a scene. And Jimmy and Andy was over there reviewing the monitor, the dailies, if you will. And I was trying to rush things along. I was like, come on, guys, we got like 4 hours of nighttime left to shoot the rest of the stuff. And I heard Jimmy go, I want to see it. And because he wanted to watch, see how he just looked.
Yeah, I wanted to check my skills.
And then Andy was like, hold up, Chris. Jimmy wants to see it. And I went, who the fuck is Jimmy? Yeah. Keep rolling. And
he's the help. An unpaid actor.
I'm the director here. It was a nightmare.
It's
Not
like, hold on,
me.
guys. Tom Cruise wants to see the clip. Who the fuck is Tom?
Yeah.
Good times. But
basically the same thing.
I mean, you do your own stunts.
Yeah, for sure.
You're really into Scientology.
Yeah. He runs a lot.
Yeah.
He broke his ankle, but it was just walking to set. Well, we just finished watching episode 7. And yes, please, if you want some of that sweet merch, you got to hop on that because it's limited time. And I guess we'll have like some cool Yellow Jackets merch coming up. Maybe some Buzz shirts or something with Buzz Lightyear.
Or Bear Down.
Yeah.
That's a joke for the people who listen to the episode in 2 days.
We're joking from the future.
Yeah.
We have recorded for 8 hours of podcast today. So bear down with us. We might be a little more loopy than actually we do this every fucking week. You're used to this.
This is the norm for us. This is our life.
I ran out of coffee.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
We look good. I like the lighting. You can find these YouTube videos on, believe it or not, YouTube. You can also
wait, where?
YouTube. You can go to patreon.com/streamingthings if you want to support the show financially. If you have the means to do that, that would be amazing. If you don't, we don't want you to put yourself in any kind of hardship. That's not what we're saying here. It's just for those that can. But you get a variety of rewards, including bonus episodes. You can sign up just in time to hear our coverage of I Love You Man, which is our February Patreon bonus episode. But we've got tons of episodes from years past on there.
Yeah, and we're going to start a every other Friday starting on March 10th is going to be Steve's Fireside Chats in the Discord, because you can have access to our Discord where you can have watch-along parties, like you can watch Last of Us with other Stream Fiends, and you can partake in the Steve's Fireside Chats.
Yeah, the Stream Fiends have created their own community independent of us, which I love. Like, I'm pretty sure they had a huge discussion and watch-along party of the Last of Us episode without us while we were watching it, and they do that with Yellow Jackets and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you'd like to be a part of that, we encourage it. They have a great community.
Which I just want to publicly acknowledge our mods on the Discord.
Yes.
Jordan, Enza, Ghost, and Mando Jen. You guys are killing it. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys for making streaming things even better on the Discord than we possibly could.
Yeah, we said it at the end of the I Love You Man episode, but just for all of the public to know, that whole community is built and managed solely by those people, not by us, because we are stupid.
We're doing this.
Yes.
We're building this.
Yep.
So they focus on building that, and we build this.
Mm-hmm. And together.
And Jimmy does that.
Yeah,
Who the fuck is Jimmy?
Show up.
What are you talking about? Not Andy.
I don't know, guys.
Was that your Andy?
Yeah, that was my Andy.
You just sound like Millhouse
it's
in The Simpsons.
Bengals.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Just kidding.
Andy, if this is the one episode you've listened to in the last 2 years, I love you.
I'm begging you to listen to the show.
But yeah, we just finished watching The Last of Us episode 7. As I said, if you're new here, what we'll do is we'll go around the room, talk about overall thoughts, our initial impressions of the episode. Then we'll go through a scene-by-scene, play-by-play recap of every single thing that happened. And after that, we'll do a little segment called our favorite Fireflies, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode, going around the table here. And then we'll do some bullets and pills.
Pills, baby.
Little Easter eggs that we pulled from the game that you might have missed if you played, or probably wouldn't fucking get at all if you haven't. And we'll go through and admire the details. And then finally, we'll cap everything off with what we call the outbreak performance, the best performance, our favorite at least, of the episode. From this episode, you'll have one of 2 choices, unless you want to get weird and give it to Captain Kwong.
Well, I might.
That's valid.
I might give it to Bethany. You don't know.
She was pretty badass.
She really sold me on that punch.
Let's take a brief moment. You can also write in anytime at streamingthingspod@gmail.com. We do mailbags frequently where we read out some listener comments and questions. And we do it in a sultry voice. Like, this email comes in from Charles P. Snuggums. She's a real person, probably.
Charles P. Snuggums. I love hearing your emails.
He writes.
Chuck Snuggums.
His friends call him Chuck Snuggums. You can also follow us on Twitter at StreamThingPod. You can follow me everywhere at Movies Are Therapy. Steve at SteveMay13 on Twitter, and at S_May05.
You got it.
Fuck yes.
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
That's important. S_May. S_May05 on Instagram.
Just Google it.
Put it in your Google.
Jimmy, you got anything you want to plug? What's your grinder?
Who the fuck is Jimmy?
Who wants to fuck Jimmy? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
All right, diving right in. Jimmy, what were your overall thoughts on episode 7?
I thought the show was fucking rad.
Fucking rad.
Fucking rad.
Hell yeah.
It's Frad for short.
Yeah, I felt real nostalgic watching this because I grew up hanging out in malls a lot. So a lot of the things that you see in the background were just reminders, right? I played a lot of certain video games that we'll get into later that they had a lot of fun with. So I enjoyed that part of the show for sure. And I just recently played today, actually, the Left Behind DLC, which is episode is completely pulled from. And it's so obvious how well the game is written, because they're pulling it's shot for shot, dialogue for dialogue, and for them to really not change anything at all and bring it into the cinematic universe for HBO Max is absolutely crazy. So that's what I liked.
Fuck yeah. Mr. Steve.
Can I also say fucking rad?
Fucking rad.
Fucking rad. Like, yeah, this is a great episode. Jimmy touched on a point of like nostalgia, and I think that is a very big important thing. There's a lot of things happening in this episode that, even though this is the apocalypse, and these two young women that the episode kind of centers around didn't grow up in the time that we did, the stuff they're dealing with and the feelings they're working through and the way you kind of see them working through those feelings is very nostalgic. Like, I remember feeling that way. I remember looking longingly at someone I cared for.
You remember getting your ass beat at Mortal Kombat?
I don't remember that. I was one beating ass in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah. Really? You got thumbs?
I got thumbs, baby. But also this week, so I drove 14 hours to Orlando a couple days ago, worked for 4 hours, then turned around and drove 14 hours back. So I got back last night.
48 hours.
Yeah, I was on the road a long time and it sucked. So when I got home last night, I was like so tired. I was worn out. I had been on the road all day. I got my dogs home, and then I was like, shit. Tomorrow's episode of Last of Us is probably going to deal with the Left Behind downloadable content, which is what DLC stands for. I should probably play that. And so like I was kind of dreading it, because I'm like, man, it's 7:00. I don't know if I really want to get into this. Because I thought in my head it's going to be like a 4-hour ordeal.
Yeah.
You can get through that DLC in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so I was just like having a great time playing it. It's such a great DLC still. And so watching this episode so quickly after playing the DLC was really kind of fascinating, because I think they took a lot of this. Obviously, they took stuff shot for shots, word for word, but also they kind of skewed things slightly and slanted things. And I think they did it what was best for the medium, which is of a TV show, because there are certain things that happen in the DLC. They do this functionally the same thing, but they do it in a way that makes more of an impact in a video game medium as opposed to a TV show medium. And I like seeing how they kind of made those subtle changes to do the same exact thing, but get the desired result based off the medium they were working within. But yeah, this, like Jimmy said, fucking rad. This
fucking rad.
Chris?
Yeah, the biggest glaring change was the lack of squirt guns. And I was like, dang.
I thought that's what was going to be in the bag.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
It did get a name drop, though.
But something that was in the bag was this episode, because they had it in the bag.
I love it.
I love this episode. I mean, I feel like a fucking broken record. All I do every week, and I give my intelligent criticism, which is I had a great time. I love this stuff. I was emotionally affected. Big fan of the game, big fan of the show. Signing off for the week. My name is Chris, right? And I don't foresee me not saying that in the next 2 weeks either. I think this is just an absolute home run of a show after a masterpiece of a game. I mean, it's right up there with Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 2. So
those are of equal writing to The Last of Us.
You know how you pull the plants out of the ground.
Man, I cried so much in that scene when Mario went up and said, "It's a me,"
because it's an existential crisis, man.
It's
and
a
like
plumber going through a lot of shit.
In a world where nobody's willing to be themselves,
in a world where the princess
turtles can't even just be
castle.
turtles.
Did you see the SNL skit that Pedro Pascal did?
That looks like
Mario
the
Kart?
amazing.
Yeah, it looks.
That's the adaptation we need.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris Pratt one.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I think it's really impressive that they did that, because the DLC, as Steve explained the definition so well,
Downloadable content.
It is downloadable content, but it takes place. You play it probably years after you played the original game. I wasn't around.
I think it came out at least a year after.
Maybe 2014, 2015, maybe or something. But in the show, obviously, for people that have never experienced this story before, you get it, plopped hot damn in the middle, right? Or toward the end.
Hot damn in the middle.
In the middle toward the end. And so it's an entirely different experience. And it's
because when you play the DLC, you've already beat the game. You've already beaten the game. You know the story. You know how it ends. But then you get this little side kind of backstory with Ellie.
Yes. And so I think it's really fascinating that they thought, hey, this actually does help enrich the story so much that we want to include it, as an hour-long chunk in a 9-hour show. We need to do this. I think it's really important. And it does. It works. It functions sort of like episode 3. And I'm really fascinated to wake up tomorrow and hear everybody's thoughts. I don't think it'll be taking the world, in memeified wildfire the way that episode 3 did. Long time. But I do think, what do I think? I think it should. I think it's really, really good. It helps to edify and strengthen exactly what drives Ellie and why she's so close to Joel and why she makes the decisions that she does. And it recontextualizes all of the things that she said to him that we've seen so far, especially where he's questioned her experience of loss and stuff in this new world. I think it's really, and a lot of people, I think, inappropriately characterized episode 3 as a bottle episode. Like, oh, it's a filler, but and it's insulting to the work, right? Because it didn't function that way at all. And it was actually a really important snapshot plot wise into some backstory of Joel and Tess and the world itself and the people that populate it, and the main theme of the show, which is that love can survive despite any circumstances, right? And this is the same way. Like, I think I'm a little nervous to read the interwebs tomorrow, and people's like, I just want to see what happens with Joel. This is dumb. And my sinuses are ruined. And
was that your Andy impression?
I was going to say, it sounded like Andy.
No, I didn't. That's not, Andy wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
He's too smart.
Yeah, I was going to say, that does not sound like our friend Andy.
No. And you know what I mean, though? Like, maybe I'm just, I need to give him more credit, but I can smell that coming.
No, I mean, it's anything to, unfortunately, I think you're right. It's going to be an unfortunate situation where a lot of people on the internet who are just have antiquated views and beliefs are going to hate on the episode unfairly because of being that way.
Yeah, I can't wait. They made her gay.
Yeah,
like,
that's oh my god,
she's been gay.
That's happening
The entire it will 100% happen.
That's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, go woke, go broke, HBO.
Did somebody actually say that?
HBO. Because they're really bad at puns.
Yeah.
Typically, bigots.
They should watch this show and learn about puns.
But I just thought I thought this was a beautiful episode. I can't wait to talk through it with you guys. I was profoundly affected by it and very impressed. Like you said, I mean, so much of it was pulled. I didn't expect them to recreate it so faithfully. I didn't think it was going to make sense. And you're right, they did a little twist because in the DLC there's some present timeline stuff woven in where she's also in a mall. Am I correct?
Yeah.
It's been a little bit.
She's in a modern
so it's the mall that's making her think of Riley, right?
Yeah, basically, like in this episode, you see her looking for supplies to help Joel out.
Just in the house, yeah.
But in the game, she's gone to this mall that's near them that's, got snow in it and shit. And
she's like the old man from Wayne's World, where he's like, this reminds me of the time I went in a mall with my friend Riley.
The guy, what was his name?
I don't know.
He's on Modern Family now, but he was...
I don't think he is. It's a really old man. It's a famous actor from like the 50s.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different scene in Wayne's World where
it's just where he's running from church to church, but he stops first at a gas station and the guy's like, I remember when I was in love. Anyway, that it was a really dumb joke. If I'd have known the guy's name, would have been a lot faster. Somebody write in to streamingthingspod@gmail.com. But yeah, I agree with all that, and it's going to be a tough day in the morning. But I ultimately think this is one of my favorites. I'll just say it. This is up there in the top half so far for sure. But let's dive right in.
I feel like we say that about every episode. Like, it's definitely the top half.
Well, I can tell you right now, for me, it's 5, 3. I forget.
This one?
But those are the top.
So 5, 3,
and then
7.
maybe this one. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I do think the show has hit a stride. Plateau is the wrong word. It's hit like a nice little groove where it's like consistently fire. Like it's the same level of fire.
Yeah, it's like Apple stock.
It's evenly lit.
Yeah, evenly lit.
Would you think this is better than last week's episode? Because last week's was really funny.
Last week's was really funny. This one is, I think it's just as good, but for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is still funny, but this is also a lot more I don't know, Jimmy. I think you hit the nail on the head with saying it's like it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like I don't know. There's a lot like I could see of myself in this episode, and so it meant more to me in that way. But you're right. Last week's episode was funny, but it also had that incredible performance by Pedro.
Yes,
and everything.
Yes,
it's a very good episode. It's just like That's
hard.
What
it was. It was 536.
Mm-hmm. Every episode is just so consistently good.
It's a fucking banger good show.
It's an HBO show. It's like Game of Thrones. Like most Game of Thrones episodes are
Chernobyl.
better than everything. Chernobyl was like firing all cylinders all the way through.
Not a single cylinder was unfired ever.
Yeah.
I tried to find one.
There is no graphite on the ground when it comes to this show.
It's a V8 and all 8 were a chugging. Didn't think I knew that, did you?
I did not.
That refers to the amount of cylinders in an engine block.
You've been studying?
Yeah. I went to manstuff.com, accidentally stumbled on some really interesting videos. And then it was actually I watched for a while. And then I got to the engine stuff. Anywho, let's dive right into our play-by-play. The episode opens up with a tracking shot across the forest. Our TV was still buffering, so we saw like a really fake two-dimensional car without a wheel. And then everything came into clarity, and there was a blood trail in the snow leading to a house where we presume Ellie has dragged Joel's body. Very strong.
There's also a horse in the house.
Oh, maybe she just tied him to the horse.
Horse in the house.
That's why he's so hurt.
Have we ever got the name of that horse?
Callus.
I know, we know it's Callus, but have they said it in the show?
I don't think they've said it in the show.
It's weird, right?
They do talk about Shimmer in the last episode,
Yes.
but they're not writing Shimmer.
No, Shimmer's just a baby.
Yeah.
You're just a boy.
You're just a boy.
Yeah, there is a fucking horse in the house. Can we talk about the horse in the house?
How'd it get in there?
There's an elephant in the room and a horse in the house.
I think it was.
Was there a
I think
garage?
it's technically in the garage. So
Okay.
they open the garage door.
Well, that's all right.
That's where you put your car.
Kind of inside and outside,
Yeah.
right?
It's just fun to say horse in the house. Guys, horse in the house.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed. Sorry, I watched a lot of Miss Rachel. And then so she's attempting mild what?
You said that as if like, Miss Rachel.
Yeah.
Everyone who's listening with children is going to go, yes.
Okay.
You two schmucks.
I don't have any kids.
Hey, I have two children. They're covered in fur.
Yeah.
Their name is Pippin and
You
Ellie.
need to get that checked out.
Pretty sure that's a condition.
They have lasers for that now. But yeah, she's trying to, staunch the wound? She's trying to stop the bleeding. Joel's panicking. He says, hey, just leave. Go north. Go to Tommy. Leave me here to die. What?
My notes say Ellie is trying to do a medicine on Joel.
That's not untrue.
That's what I'd be trying to do.
Joel, relax. I'm doing a medicine.
Doing a medicine.
Shut up. Here comes the medicine.
By the way, never let anyone operate on you that uses the phrase doing a medicine.
It looks on your chart today. We're going to be doing a medicine on you today.
We've got a lot
you my
of
doctor?
We've got a lot of doctors that listen to this show. Please film yourself going to a patient.
I don't think that HIPAA allows them to do this.
Just camera on them. Don't break any HIPAA laws, but I just need to see you say, are you here to have a medicine done?
We're going to do a medicine on you today.
Pretty simple procedure.
Yeah.
Just a medicine.
We take a medicine and we do it on you.
Yeah. And then so Ellie seems comedically to leave to follow Joel's behest because she stares
like,
at him
right.
for a long time and then she just walks up the stairs. And I think she honestly does consider it. And that's the whole point of the bookend framed flashback. When she goes to grab the doorknob, she's thinking, hey, do I leave? Is this what I got to do? So then we flash back.
Do I stare? Do I go now?
Yeah. And she starts singing that, which just seems inappropriate, but it flashes back to Ellie in the past. She's running in a gymnasium during her Fedra training days.
They needed to change the light bulbs in that gym. My goodness, they were flickering on and off like crazy. That's not going to help out with your training.
But they were still like the floor still looked waxed. Like somebody was keeping up with
They
the
just
gym.
let her listen to music while she was running.
By the way, Eddie Vedder, not a good like running track. I mean, Pearl Jam's my favorite band. That's not maybe like the old albums, like 10 or something. Like, wow. Yeah, you could listen to that. But she's listening to like new Eddie Vedder, like sad boy stuff. And her pace matched the Vedder is all I'm saying.
Yeah, she's getting lapped.
Is that a time appropriate song? You just said new Eddie Vedder.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he was always been kind of a mumbly, sad boy. But
okay. I'm not super familiar with like, when their songs are released.
The time would have been
2003.
No, this is past Ellie. This is still like 2020 in the flashback, right? Because it's during.
It's post pandemic or post outbreak.
Yeah, but I knew I meant like not the 90s. So
it's okay. That's all I was asking.
Yeah, I'm thinking of albums
made?
like 10 versus Vitalogy. Those are all from the 90s and stuff. And
What song was that?
I
wrote
honestly,
it down, but I don't know where it's at.
I hadn't even heard that before.
All or None?
All I can say for sure, not going to pick up the old heart rate during the run.
Yeah, it is kind of a droll
You need
song.
some like Crystal Method or something if you're going for a run. Or maybe some Streaming Things podcast. That's what I work out to. The sweet sound of my own timbre.
So All or None is from the Riot Act album, which came out in 2002.
Riot Act? Really?
Yeah.
I don't like that album.
And Outbreak Day was 2003.
I think that was a
right?
double disc album.
So it really came in under the wire. What do you think Eddie Vedder's doing in this world?
They didn't make. They didn't still make cassettes in 2002.
I think they did.
Like straight up big brick Walkmans.
Yeah, that was a big Walkman.
Yeah, that was like 80s.
That's a relic of the past.
Yeah, that Walkman was.
This whole episode gave me like our other show vibes, you know, Stranger Things vibes.
Why did you say like we can't talk about Stranger Things?
We don't know. We're not licensed.
You guys know about that other show?
HBO's gonna kill us. HBO's the Bethany of streaming services.
They beat us up.
Knock the shit out of us. So Bethany hates Eddie Vedder. She comes up, yanks the Walkman off of her, and says, "Hey, pick up your pace," because they all get
Don't
punished
listen
if
to
they're
sad
slow.
boy shit.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, you don't have 10?
Here's some Coheed and Cambria. That'll pick you up.
Ooh, hell yeah, that would.
But anyway, she starts shit with her, and she's like, "Hey, I don't want to fight with you." Ellie tries to be a good person in this scenario, or like have the high ground or whatever. That made her sound like Anakin. But
Obi-Wan had the high ground.
yeah, that's right. But
I felt like I had to correct you. I'm sorry.
it's over. But Bethany says your friend's not here. She's the one who fights, right? Referencing Riley. And then Ellie punches her in the face, we can assume. Beats the holy shit out of her because she got 15 stitches, we find out later.
Or she just got a mean right cross.
I mean, that's not a small... Well, Ellie's got so I've walked through this in my head, right? Ellie's got a shiner, but she punched first. So that means there was at least one return punch on the part of Bethany.
So you're
and
saying...
then, in my mind, Ellie went just
Two-piece.
full... Oh, million pieced.
Million pieced her.
I feel like she straddled her and hit her a good dozen times on the gymnasium is what they call it in Germany.
Before Captain Kwong stopped her.
Yeah, Captain Kwong came running in. Said, no, not up in here. I feel like that's his line.
I gotta give you my keys.
Yeah. Do you want my keys or my cup? She's like, what? He's like, come on, I'll explain it to you. So we cut to Captain Kwong's office, and he talks about the two paths that she can take. If she's on this path of getting in trouble all the time, and it's like prison, they put them in the hole and shit, where it's just an isolation room. And says, hey, you're going to be a grunt. You're going to be on patrol all the time. You're going to have to bunk with other losers. You're not going to get any good. You're going to get shitty food. Or you can have my keys, which go to my room.
You can be an officer. These go to my. We'll give you your own keys.
Yeah,
for
right,
your
right.
own room. But
this is a metaphor.
I will need those back. If you choose them, I will need them back.
Or you could be an officer. You're smart enough. You know, he has a lot of faith in Ellie's ability to be a high-ranking fascist, right? He sees all the good signs in her. And then you can have really super sweet food, maybe a Snickers bar every now and then. Your own bed, extra pillows.
You're warm in the winter. You're cool in the summer.
Everybody on the
Living
ground
nice.
level, they don't have leg pillows, Ellie. Their knees touch while they sleep on their side. They wake up with terrible sciatica pain. Me? No, I have body pillows. I feel like I'm nestled.
They're literal humans.
They're the grunts.
Yeah, they're the grunts.
Anyway.
I mean, that kind of, because in this moment, you kind of think like, oh, Captain Kwong, he's a pretty cool dude. He's reaching out to this troubled youth that he sees
Yeah,
potential.
it gives like principal vibes.
But the way he's saying it is like, yeah, but also like in this world we live in, you become like just like this grunt person we shit all over, or you can be one of the select elite.
I don't like this one bit, this dichotomy you've got presented.
I'll tell you what, the people that in Fedra, we have to really buckle down on them. What I do is I make my Italian sub every day. I make it myself. I get on the bus, I go to Fedra, and I look them square in the eyes and I say, fuck you. I don't want to be a body pillow, okay? I'm a human being. And that's the 1%, they're out of control. The 90%, the fireflies. That's what I'm about.
Hold on. I think you did your math a little wrong there. It's 91%.
I'm here to lead, not to do math.
By the way, we figured out last week why we call them that. They only got 1% of the dick in the room. I've got the other 99. I've got 99% of the dick, Jimmy. It's fucking huge.
Something about Bernie Sanders directly like talking to Jimmy. It's really funny.
Vote for me.
Let me tell you about my dick.
Vote for the big dick.
I saw you looking at me when I walked in the room. I know you have questions. I will answer them in a timely fashion.
It's true.
It's true. It's true, Daddy.
And then she asks for her Walkman back, and she does seem to be swayed by this scare tactic of like, well, I don't want to be in this system at all. And it's actually quite devious, and it's how the political systems like this really work, right? She's been recruited and indoctrinated, and like he presented a false dichotomy to her, and it's like, well, it made one sound obviously better, which was coincidentally towing the line and not asking questions and behaving, right?
Yeah, and he directly tells her, like, hey, no matter what people say about us, we are the glue that holds this whole thing together. Without us, the world would fall apart. You know, a lot of fascistic orders say stuff like that.
Sure.
And that's something that Ellie kind of parrots throughout this episode.
The government pretends to be the Sniper Tony protecting the Kansas City of civilization, if you will.
Oh, there's no replacing Sniper Tony. Sniper Tony is a government of one. You know who sits on the top of that pyramid? Old Tony.
Mm-hmm.
The pyramid of one.
Every November we vote and we call it Tony time.
Oh boy, it's the first Tuesday of every November. It should be a national holiday.
The ballot just has one box and I shoot it.
Actually, I don't. I miss it quite often. I do try to hit it.
He has to take 47 pencils with him to vote because he always misses. So we cut to Ellie back in her room. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And she's in there reading some comic books, and we see a bunch of good little goodies I'm sure we'll talk about later littering all throughout the room. And then she glances briefly at the empty bed, obviously missing her roommate. They call for lights out, and then shortly after she falls asleep, Riley climbs into her room, tries to sneak up on her as a joke. Ellie's not fucking having that. She's toughened up in the last few weeks.
About to stab her.
Like, she immediately pushes her away, pulls her knife, and goes in for the kill. You know what I mean? Which you got to respect that kind of straight out of the sleep reaction, because that's not what I would do.
Yeah, Riley says something like, it's a joke. I thought you would think it was funny. And clearly you didn't. But on my head, I'm like, it's the apocalypse.
LOL, I'm killing you.
That is what we call gauche, all right? That type of prank.
What would you do? Somebody just...
For a Klondike bar?
If you, what would you do?
For
a
Klondike
Go on.
bar.
If a pun fails to surface, just go with the actual phrase.
Yeah.
Panic.
Yeah.
Klondike bar. No, like if you woke up to a hand on your mouth.
Been there.
Again.
I mean, if it's the apocalypse, I'm fighting for sure.
Just even right now.
Oh, I don't know. Just depends on whose mouth or hand it was.
Am I allowed to urinate?
Yeah, sure.
I would urinate.
I would defecate.
Or do like when you're a kid and just like lick it.
That could
Got him.
That can backfire though.
It could. It could. Anyway, she realizes that's Riley. She's very upset because she thought she was dead. That's her best friend and more, right? And so she finds out quickly that Riley has joined the Fireflies. She doesn't believe her at first. What does she show her? Like a tattoo? Is there a tattoo?
Her gun.
Oh, her gun, her piece.
She pulls out her piece.
Yeah, you're really a Firefly because you're cocked and
In
loaded.
the game, she pulls out the pendant, but they're not fucking with the pendants in this show.
Oh, yeah. Those are annoying little Easter egg
Yeah.
hunts anyway. I'd be looting and shit, and that's all I
I'm surprised
get.
we haven't seen one yet, at least. Kind of
Yeah,
dead
you
guy.
think it would have popped up by
She
now.
pulled it up like it's all iced out and shit.
It's kind of a weird thing, though, that they would give them, the freedom fighters,
Right.
like dog tags, though.
Yeah, for
Like,
an order that's fighting a
be
fascistic
secret.
order, it's weird to have a dog tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wear this.
Yeah. Everybody can see you.
Don't let anyone know you're wearing this.
Yeah.
Put it around your neck.
So Riley makes her come outside to play, essentially. You know, like one of those pushy ass friends.
Yeah.
Like, your mom's not going to know. Come on. And so she's like, hey, I got to be up in a few hours. I can't do it. I can't get in trouble anymore.
Yeah, this is at 2 a.m.
Yes.
When do Fedra drills start? I imagine pretty early.
5 o'clock, I would
She
imagine.
said 5, right?
Yeah, I mean,
She
probably.
said, yeah.
You were in the military, Jimmy.
5
5 a.m. at
about
the
4 or
latest,
5,
right?
Yeah.
Plus, she's got to make your bed.
Oh yeah, definitely gotta make the bed.
What do they call that? Racking it?
Hotel corners.
Hotel corners?
Yeah.
Our shit's going to be FUBAR if
Yeah,
that shit ain't tucked.
I'm gonna toss that shit.
Polish them boots.
Never had to do that.
So Ellie makes her turn away while she dresses, which I thought was a really nice touch. I could be reading too much into it. But here's my thinking on that, guys. Or wait, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Did you think that was for any real purpose whatsoever, or just a quirk for Ellie?
I thought it just reminded me of being a kid. Like, turn around, don't look at me. But the fact that like there is a romantic connection between the two, you know, even today, like it's a little awkward to like, if you're interested in someone, to be like the first time you like take your clothes off in front of someone, that's always kind of a high stakes situation.
Yeah.
But in this situation, they aren't at that point in their relationship. It's maybe a mutual
High
liking
stakes situation.
Well, Riley also says you've always been weird about that too, right? So
yeah, but always to her. And like, again, I could be, I've never been a young woman, and I'm kind of more of an exhibitionist type person anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe I took more note of it than I should have, but I felt like it's because of the romantic nature of at least Ellie's perception of her that it makes her more nervous. Like I don't disrobe in front of Jimmy because I know he's sexually attracted to me, and it changes things, you know?
That's true.
It's not like a bro time thing.
I mean, I get it.
I just thought that was a cool touch if I read it correctly.
I think you're right.
But they sneak out. We learn about Carol. Fuck Carol.
Fuck Carol.
And they're not talking about Steve's mother. I just wanted that to be
No,
clear.
my Carol's a saint.
She's a
She
goddamn
made us
saint.
cookies.
Peanut butter cookies.
Yeah.
Not oatmeal or chocolate chip.
How am I
peanut
never
butter.
here when there's fucking treats?
There's a big bag out there right now.
They're in the kitchen.
You're like, somebody sent us a cake.
That
Jimmy's
cake
not here.
was there when you got here.
I don't think I was on that episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was an Andy episode.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some
There
slices
was
still.
the banana cake was there last week.
Banana cake was here last week.
That's fucking gross.
It was actually scrumptious,
It was
diddly
great.
umptious.
Tasted like a moon pie.
Yeah, it was
Oh, really?
amazing.
I like moon pies.
I had 2 slices of each cake. Just want to throw that out there.
Anyway, better
2
be some fucking
slices.
snacks here.
We offered you a Slim Jim. Yeah, just old stuff with Riley. Some shit with Carol. She actually kind of tries to chastise her for starting shit with Bethany. So, and Ellie's a little perturbed because Riley's always been this gung ho, violent person.
Yeah,
And she's
even
like, what the
Bethany's
fuck
like,
are you
if
talking
your
about?
friend fights, you don't.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Riley is clearly the fighter of the two.
She's always been scrappy, and it's Ellie's grief over losing Riley that's made her change and become more defensive and outgoing. So she's like, I got plans for us. Let's go. We got to get down. And they almost get caught by some Fedra guards, but
like
they hide.
immediately.
Yeah, not off to a great start, but they get into a building, and she says, "Okay, we're going up." I think it's like 2 floors. It's 7 floors. There's a lot of being pissed at stairs and loving escalators in this show,
Yeah.
and I identify with that heavily.
Oh, yeah.
They see a new dead body. It gets all Stand By Me for a second.
Yeah.
Like you see it, like she's like, did she just say, do you want to see a dead body?
Right.
And come get me out of bed. And then we see some liquor and some pills, baby.
Pills, baby. I just wanted to point out, like, when they see the dead body, Ellie's like, is that the surprise?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, she's
Hell
like,
yeah.
she's seen Stand By Me, and she's like, wait, what?
He just wasn't there yesterday, which is kind of a, like,
Early red flag.
yeah, it's a red flag. Like, wait a minute. There wasn't one of those last time I was here.
So is this a guy that got infected and committed suicide by pills and liquor?
Could be. I mean, he's close enough to the mall where that could be the explanation. I just thought maybe it was a guy that just wanted to hang and didn't realize that pills and liquor were a bad combo.
His tolerance is whack.
But he had like little mushrooms on his face, right?
I think that was puke.
Oh,
I think that
really?
was like him, like from ODing.
Oh, interesting. I read that all wrong.
Because they were kind of fascinated by it, and I think it's because in this world, how often do you come across someone who ODs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
how
not
we-
often.
How often do people OD in this world?
Mhm.
It's mostly like if I feel like it was.
So that's a positive effect of the apocalypse.
yeah, I mean, really a silver lining. Not the
opioid
apocalypse.
crisis doesn't exist.
Overdoses are down 98%.
It's not all bad, guys.
So they take the liquor, which none of us were able to identify. It's obviously some kind of whiskey or maybe scotch.
Maybe. I thought it said Nameless. Nameless is a brand, but I couldn't read it.
Yeah. I didn't recognize the boy. It's not Boyben.
No.
The Boyben Bowl.
They're
so-
not in Kentucky.
Yeah, they end up taking turns drinking. And I just want to say, last week I noticed that she said still gross, and I called attention to it. Like, I bet we're going to see them drinking, which is in the DLC. Even though when I played, I chose not to drink. And
I drank it.
You narc.
What's great? What's funny though is in the game they both take a drink and it's over. The rest of the show they're just taking shots.
Yeah, they were doing the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know Riley was like 3 years older than Ellie either. I think
that's probably a change.
Almost 3.
Yeah, that's not something I was aware of before this either.
Yeah.
She said she's about to turn 17. So she's about 2.5 years older than I know Ellie to be. But they take the liquor. The body falls through the floor. And
It's pretty rare.
a jump scare that affected me.
Yeah.
Like, I did not see that coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see it coming either.
Yeah.
I was mostly confused. Like, wait, what happened?
Where body go?
Where body would dare, not body no dare no more.
Yeah, the jump scare only works if you can understand what's going on, Steve. Where body go? Hopefully they grab the pills, baby, but I don't think so. So they take turns drinking. We find out that Riley's parents are dead. And she's like, hey, was that the first dead body you saw? And she's like, no, my parents. Oh, yeah. And then Ellie asks her if she can hold her gun. And she says, no, the Fireflies told me you can't handle my sidearm. She said, oh, I can't handle my sidearm. Give it to me. Which is a total Jimmy thing to say.
Yeah, give me your fucking gun.
But she gets to hold it. It's hefty. And then gives it back. And we find out more about Riley's Firefly origins, that essentially she had been placed in solitary confinement as punishment at Fedra. And then she easily snuck out of that, as she did all the time. And then Marlene spotted her sneaking around the city, being unnoticed by guards, and offered her a job in the Fireflies after asking her opinion of Fedra, which she says a bunch of stupid fascists and assholes.
So Marlene was being real sneaky, watching her be sneaky.
Yeah, she out-sneaked the sneaker.
Yeah.
Can't out sneak a sneaker.
No, she can't. Way too sneaky. And then, throughout this episode, a few times we see a Riley and Ellie's political perspectives clash, right? Like Ellie is more Fedra, but more scared, right, than anything. And Riley's obviously leaning towards the Fireflies. And so they're terrorists to Ellie, but to Riley, they're freedom fighters, and they're fascist on the part of Fedra to Riley, but to Ellie, they're helping keep the order, and it's a safe thing to do. And I thought I don't necessarily think that it's meant for this. I might be reading too much into it, but it's quite a profound story. It's kind of a Romeo and Juliet thing as well, right? Where you get to see two people from different perspectives in love and trying to learn from one another, even in a playfully combative way. I think it's really cool. Like, even this whole DLC could have been the game, and it would have been as good, like you could read into these like two opposing forces you get to play as each character and all that. It's really cool, but you just get a snippet of it. It's just an afterthought.
Yeah, it also kind of plays into the fact that, like, towards the end of the episode, there's a question for what's option 3, and this kind of goes into that, because in this world there are two ways of life. There's the Fedra way, there's the Firefly way, and so what's option 3? Because both options clearly aren't great. They have downsides to both sides.
Or you could just do the option 3 is the Joel way.
The Joel way.
Fuck bitches, get money.
Fuck sheep, get money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Joel dude loves them sheep.
That's the dream. That's really profound, Steve. Good job.
Sorry.
About that. The third choice.
Just imagining Pedro Pascal on a horse with "fuck bitches get money" playing behind him.
That's the da 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 da. Dun, dun, dun. So then they parkour. Let's not gloss over what it is. They parkour. They jump over roofs and stuff. And that's when they argue more over what's propaganda. And propaganda is in the eye of the beholder, essentially, is what they come to. And then she shows her the mall. That's where we're heading. And she's like, the mall? That's... I was going to make a mall joke. That's sealed off. It's full of infected. And she's like,
Hey, I've already been to Kenwood Mall. Very local joke. Sorry, other people who listen to this.
6 people were like, ha ha. She's like, how's it sealed off if it's not sealed off? Which is a really existential question if you think about it. Yeah, I mean, the mall, that's how they look now. It is unchanged. They just literally filmed an actual...
They went to Florence Mall and was like, oh, we're going to take over this.
They filmed an actual mall. That's all that was done for that set dressing.
Can we install an arcade? That's literally all they did to change it.
Yeah. Made them work and lit them up. That's about it.
And the mall's wired now because they just added electricity to a new quadrant of the city because they're building out more apartments. And so they accidentally lent electricity to the mall as the plot of, of this episode. And Riley's been hanging out in there. So she lights the mall up and there's this wonderful scene where she tells, it's a surprise that she's worked on all night, maybe days. Specifically for Ellie. And she tells Ellie to go inside, turn right, and just tell me when you're there. So she wants her to witness the let there be light moment of the mall. And one of my favorite moments, spoiler alert, like it's a beautiful, just to see her face, like to see the eyes through the wonder of Ellie, like somebody who's never seen a plane or an escalator before, is one of the bright spots of this series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you guys ever, as kids at that age, fantasize about being at a mall in the middle of the night?
Like alone?
Yeah.
I'm sure I did. Yeah. I thought about being alone at the school a lot.
Yeah.
I go through so many papers.
I'm gonna
learn.
Read.
I'm going to sit at Jessica's desk.
I'm going to smell it.
Like how Jimmy went and smelled the desk and you went and fart on the desk. These are the two conflicting sides.
What's the third choice, Steve?
What's the third choice?
Not be at school.
Not be at school. Go to the mall at night.
Yeah.
I was a weird kid. I told Jimmy earlier, I used to always think about like intruders breaking into the school and I would have to save all the kids because I watched a lot of like mixtures of like Three Ninjas, but also like Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Rocky, Tum Tum, or Colt?
Well, Rocky loves Emily.
Yeah.
That's a joke for another 6 people. We are crushing it with about 12 people here. But yeah, she sees the lights come up and she talks about her plan to show her the 4 wonders of the mall. And then they go to see the escalators. And Ellie is more amazed than Riley could have predicted. She's like, is this one of the wonders? And she's like, well, okay, there's 5 wonders then. Because she did not expect the escalator to be a wonder. And she has a blast playing on the escalator.
I fucking love this whole bit.
I thought you were going to say, I fucking love escalators.
I was going to say that. I love escalators.
I love escalators so much that I actively get mad when people walk on them. Like when people are like walking up. Like,
enjoy it.
What are you doing?
I'm an escalator walker.
The only escalator that I walk on is the airport, like the flat ones that make you
those
feel
are
like
amazing.
Flash.
Make you feel like, you're like, gotta go fast.
Those are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I see an elevator, I gravitate towards it. And my wife's always like, nah, let's go to the stairs. So I'm probably going to divorce her.
And what's amazing is an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Mitch Hedberg. So that's the 5th wonder. And then she says back in 5 minutes and they start to... They start to wander and look at all the old ancient relics of the mall. They see, and there's a really cool, not the back in 5 minutes is a post-it note, but they see like everybody's mentality of when society first collapsed because everybody looted the sneakers first, but not the soap store, right? Because they thought these shoes were going to have value when things kicked back up. No, things are never coming back.
They don't got ration cards. They got J's. Selling Jordans to each other.
These are exclusive. What? These are terrible to walk in. And they go to,
I didn't pick up on that. That's a good insight there.
Yeah. Cause she said something about, her mom telling her that people looted what was important to them first. And she's like, why are some stores empty and some not? And she's like, so sneakers and not soap? Cause life's, now to Ellie's brain, she's like, why would you want shoes?
Yeah.
When you stank. And they go to a lingerie store and wonder at who would wear such silly undies.
Such unpractical undies.
Yeah, they're so impractical. They look so uncomfortable. But she does pause for a long time to look at the model that's made up and like adjust her own hair and stuff. And, you got to think there's no like women role models or like all the things that we consider like human things to be interested in during adolescence, like even men just trying to like worry about your acne and all that shit. Like there's none of that going on. She has no, but that desire to like feel pretty, and especially around Riley, is still there, and it's really interesting just to see a snippet of that brought on by the model.
Speaks to the power of that type of advertising, of the
Yeah.
psychological effect it can have on human beings.
Sure,
and how
sure.
scary that is.
That's true. And then Riley says to close your eyes. We got to go to the next surprise. And in so doing, they have to hold hands. The camera lingers there, and she takes her to a carousel. That's when we find out that she's almost 17, and that she's going to be sent to, wait, is this where they talk about the sewage thing? Yeah. So she tells, they ride the carousel, which is a beautiful moment. We get to hear
I love it so
a
much.
cool song that we'll probably talk about later in the background of the little tinky tinkies of the carousel.
The tinky tinkies.
And it's a huge sequence in the game as well. But then we find out that the reason that Riley ran away is because Captain Kwong had assigned her sewage detail. So she's going to be like the lowest of the low, and she's going to be in charge of guarding people shovel shit. So that's what ultimately spurred her to run away, and then made her decision to join the Fireflies that much easier. And so Ellie seems to kind of understand that and start to forgive her a little bit for abandoning her for weeks at their post. But she does say, but you're the one thing I missed about that place, which makes Ellie feel a little bit better. So now we're 3 wonders down.
A little bit.
I think.
That's 2 wonders down.
Well, we got escalator, carousel. Right, that's 2. And then the third one is the photo booth / time machine that she takes her to.
I love that she points like, is that a time machine?
Yeah, because like, what the fuck is it? You have no idea, right? It's so great.
It could be I could imagine seeing that and thinking it's a time machine.
And then she goes in and they do all iconic poses and take some photos.
Good thing Riley had money. She had the wherewithal to find some money.
Right. She'd already looted the coin store the day before, or the little thingy thing, little coin holder. Wallet, if you will, piggy bank, motherfucking, what is it called? Change machine. Change machine, because it changes. No.
I want you to tell me.
Changes paper dollars into metal dollars. It's magic. And then they go to the 4th wonder, which is the arcade. And then Ellie says, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it does, like, even as...
I agree, Ellie.
There's no arcades like that anymore.
That arcade is a thing of beauty.
All we got is Dave and Buster's, D&B's.
Right.
Yeah, and Dave and Buster's sucks.
It's for Busters.
It is for Busters.
It's for and this arcade, this is a fucking arcade, man. When I think of them, I think of these. It's kind of dark, but it's all like neon lights, and there's probably like... It's probably got that black light too in it, where you're like, oh shit, I didn't know my shirt did that in a certain light. I hope that's not a stain.
That's mustard.
And then you see like all the fun little game. There's an air hockey table back there. Oh, I loved it. And what game do they play, Jimmy?
Mortal Kombat 2.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
En français.
I used to sneak out and go to this arcade called 2-Bit when I was like 10 or 11. I used to get in trouble all the time. Looks just like that. Oh yeah.
Going to the arcade.
I was like 10 walking across the highway to go to fucking arcade.
How far away was it from your house?
It's like half a mile. Well, I'm not going to say specific areas because nobody gives a fuck. But it's about half a mile.
By the Kenwood Mall?
Yeah. It's the only
I don't know how many like real arcades I went to. I went to like a little half arcade that was part of the movie theater. The Great Escape.
The one in the Florence Mall. I'm trying to think of the name. I can't think of it. It was next to Spencer Zone. We used to go in there and look at the dildos all the time.
In the arcade?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like, oh, you guys going to the arcade? I'm going to go to Spencer.
I want to see
out the dildos.
I want to see rubber dicks because I'm a man.
Yeah. Is that what a man is?
Yes.
Do they get that big?
Yes, they do. Sometimes. Very rarely.
When you eat good soup.
But yeah, Mortal Kombat is like, that was like my game growing up. So when they booted up the machine and they start going through, like Riley like tore apart the coin machine so they could have quarters so they could actually start playing. And when they're going through the character selection, Ellie picks Raiden and Riley picks Melina. Jimmy and I were like commenting like, oh, great choice with Raiden. Great choice. Oh, Melina, bad choice. Bad move there.
Yeah.
Not Mortal Kombat 2? No.
Yeah.
Raiden's such a noob choice though, right? Like
That's Scorpion. Scorpion
Scorpion
is the choice.
or
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero are like your go-tos.
Yeah.
Scorpion, or I'm sorry, Sub-Zero is a little harder to play as, whereas Scorpion is very easy to play as.
Back forward attack. Get over here.
He's got that teleport move where he shoots across and punches you.
But Raiden has that like horizontal
Come on.
where he like spins forward like that. I used to do that over and over and then flip roll.
I think Sonya Blade is the broken character in Mortal Kombat 2, where like the way her sweep is, you can do it infinitely and no one can ever do anything against you. Literally, like it's broken.
That was the whole thing for Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. I think there were a couple characters where you could just kick and win. Mm-hmm. Just stay in one spot and kick, and people would get so mad at you. All the mall rats.
Yeah, come fight loser. Me. Come fight me.
But at one point, one of them switched out to Baraka, which I appreciate. That's
while we went to look at the clicker that was knotted out. I guess he found that guy's pills in the doll shop. Oh, shit, man.
Hello?
What day is it?
I really like dolls.
And I thought it was so adorable, though, that she had, like, we find evidence that Riley had spent hours the day before, like, planning everything down to the T. And it took a couple hours to get into that coin machine so that Ellie would have the quarters and stuff. And, like, just picture her tinkering away alone in the mall.
She even memorized the fatalities, which... How did she even learn them?
Right.
Yeah, no internet. That's impressive.
Pretty cool change from the game because
change.
Because the power doesn't work that much, so she has her pretend. She like talks her through the game that they're playing, and there's this moment where Ellie's like using her imagination, and Riley's just feeding her what's happening. It's a pretty neat part.
That kind of goes back to what I mentioned in the beginning. Is like the video game, the DLC for Last of Us really kind of plays up the idea. Like it would be easy to put you in the world where you're fighting in the fighting game in a section where they in the video game they're not playing Mortal Kombat, they're playing Angel Knives, and which is the same thing. It's a fighting game, and like Jimmy said, the camera really kind of focuses just on Ellie's face. You see kind of the glow of the screen on her face, and then it puts up like a health bar for two different characters in the top, and Riley is like. Guy jumps behind you. You go to punch him. Hit the low punch, and then so you see like the health bar decrease. And why that sequence is so amazing in the game is it's so easy where you could have had a fighting game section, but the fact that you are literally just sitting there and pressing the buttons that Riley's telling you, and the camera gets closer and closer to her face. The sound really kind of pulls out, and you can. Through Ellie, you're imagining the video game noises. It's really fucking beautiful. It's one of the most standout moments in the game. Whereas in here, they're like, well, we can't pull that off.
And we got money. Let's buy the rights.
Let's get Mortal Kombat and let's just show them just having a really, really good time. And that makes it more effective in this medium of television.
Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said, Steve.
Go YouTube that scene if you guys are interested in.
I thought you were going to say clip that and put that on YouTube because I just crushed that explanation.
That too.
Make that a short. So they finished playing Mortal Kombat. We have seen the clicker that's looming off in another part. So then she goes to show her the final wonder. And she's been living in a macho nacho. And it makes Ellie think, is the final wonder tacos? Because I'm down for that. But no, she gives her a gift first, volume 2 of the pun book that she loves.
Puns.
And they start going through tons of puns.
What did the frustrated cannibal do?
I don't know.
Threw his hands up.
Threw up his hands.
What did the triangle say to the circle?
You're pointless.
You're so pointless.
What's the best one, though? The screenshots one.
Oh.
How does a computer get drunk? Take screenshots and they both like pretend to laugh a little bit. And they're like, what are screenshots? It's just super funny.
What does a clock do when it's hungry? Goes back for seconds.
7, 8, 9. No, I'm sorry.
Goes back for seconds.
Mic drop.
Did you write down all the jokes from the game?
I did.
Okay.
I have tons of them.
Sweet. Well, let's save that for Bills, baby.
Yeah.
So they go into the Macho Nacho. They get the gift of the pun book. And then Ellie sees the bombs that Riley's been making and gets really mad. Like, you didn't discover them all. You were stationed here. And you're in here, you're doing blowy uppy shit.
That's not very Cash Money of you, Riley.
No, it's not.
It's pretty cash money for fucking making pipe bombs in a mall.
And it's really,
Was she making them or was she just guarding their stash?
maybe it's
if
just
she was
stash.
making them, she's got skills because those things.
Skills, baby.
Skills.
Yeah, I guess she was probably just garden bombs, but
Hey, new guy, you're the bomb girl.
Yeah, we stash them in this nacho store in the mall.
she's a bomb savant for all we know. We don't know. She's the bomb.
She is
Literally. Thank you. I was waiting on that before I continued the show.
I saw you.
I was like, well,
You kind of looked at my soundboard and did like a
I think that's worthy of a rim shot. Not a rim job, Jimmy.
Oh, okay. Dang.
He said, oh. Yeah, so they and it's a really terrible position that they're put in because Ellie has to imagine a year, 2 years, whenever her bunker, where she sleeps at night getting blown up by maybe these very bombs, and and the person she loves more than anybody on the planet is like in this moment the face of that fear, and it's really a struggle for her, and it makes for a very interesting, powerful scene. And then she tells her, this is my last night in Boston. I'm being stationed in Atlanta. I leave tomorrow. And I asked Marlene if I could take you with me. She said no. And so that's it. I'm leaving. Right. And Ellie can't join. So Ellie storms out angrily. She goes back to the entrance and then, gets frustrated and comes back in. She can't leave Riley that way. And then she thinks she hears Riley screaming in trouble and anguish. And she finds it's not. It's a doll in a Halloween store, one of those annoying decorations. And Riley's just sitting there sad. She says, give me the book. I just came back for the pun book. And she leaves. And then we talk about how, Riley tells her why the Fireflies were so appealing to her. Like, I had a family. You didn't, right? Like, no offense, but no one's ever really loved you, I had that. And so she just wants another place where she can feel like she belongs and have a pseudo family. She's like, so it's really neat because Riley's like, I'm not stupid. I'm not buying into all this bullshit wholeheartedly. It's just the best option I have right now, right? Like Steve said, it's that false dichotomy again. Like, this is one of two choices, and this is the way I'm going with it. A beautiful spot. I'm going to steal the shit out of that for TikTok tomorrow, Steve.
You're welcome, my friend. Use this power for good.
That's right. So then they kind of make up a little bit, and they put on some Halloween masks, and they play some music from Ellie's Walkman, and they start dancing on the counter. Those were glass countertops. I was terrified the entire time. I don't know about you guys, but I'm of an age now where I was like, ho, 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 kids, what's going on here?
Safety first.
Yeah.
Then teamwork.
Then teamwork.
Wear
Then
shoes in the house.
And in the middle of that, they stop. Ellie pulls her mask off. Riley pulls her mask off, and Ellie just goes for it. She says, hey, don't go. And it's like this moment where Riley was waiting for her to tell her not to leave. And she says, okay. Yeah. And then Ellie kisses her and goes for it because she doesn't know, like, I can't even imagine. Like, it's hard enough when you kiss somebody for the first time if you're not sure if they want you to. I guess it's similar, right? But I think it's got to be different as a homosexual. I'm not sure, like, because you're like, how are they going to take this? Like, it's probably way off base. Like, it's because it's scary enough just to kiss somebody, wondering if they want you to. But right. She just goes for it, and then Riley gets so fucking happy because she wasn't sure either. Like, you've never spoken about how deep these feelings go out loud. Yeah, and there's so much happiness and relief on her face in that moment. It was fucking amazing to see.
You can tell Ellie was building up to that too. Like, there are moments in the episode where she's thinking about it wholeheartedly. Like, is now my chance?
Well, I love the moment in the photo booth where Riley
had her cheek on her.
Yeah, and Riley wouldn't get off because she's enjoying the closeness, right. And Ellie is too, but so much so that it's actually making her uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So right. I'm not going to be able to control myself, kind of thing.
Well, even right before they start dancing, there's that moment where I think Riley's getting the masks, but the camera lingers on Ellie just sitting there kind of staring straight ahead. And you know that what she's doing is she's like psyching herself up a bit.
We've all been there. Like,
should I go for it?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it as soon as she turns her face back, and then you're like, no. I'm not going to do it.
Never mind. But then right after that beautiful apex of happiness, The clicker comes charging in.
I think that guy was lost because he was like right around the corner from him when
Hello?
he first
I've
woke
been
up.
looking for you everywhere.
Yeah, they've been wandering around for 2 hours, and there's this one infected, like, in the gap.
That's how it is in the mall. You never know what fucking entrance you came in. Like, I thought I came through the food court.
Right.
Was I on the first floor?
You gotta remember the
Nacho?
color.
Nacho? No. I can't find where I parked. That sounds like Sniper Tone.
Tony, get out of here.
Go home, Tone.
I left my post.
Oh, shit. They need me. I gotta go.
I'm stuck in the mall. Kansas City's doomed. It's never going to be Tony time again.
Oh, Tony, you done it again.
That's why Kathleen said, don't leave the room. I'm blind. So then there's a really cool, like, quick fight struggle scene. Riley gets knocked out pretty quickly, which is a bit unusual. It's not as easy to get unconscious as the movies would have you believe.
Yeah. It's just kind of got pushed over.
Yeah. She gets sleepy. All that liquor. Damn.
Oh, my stars.
I get it. We've all been there on New Year's Eve. So there's the struggle, and Ellie again pulls her fucking knife, like, "What's up?" And she, like, I don't know what. I'm not a doctor. I believe that's the heart or the lungs. She's giving it to him though. That's
Kill shot.
If he was human. Yeah, she was like prison shanking him. What's up? You owe me money.
Every time she would stab him, I just thought of Daniel Day-Lewis from Gangs of New York.
That's
like, this is a kill.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I was like, she's definitely watched Gangs of New York.
This is a kill. Right here, this is also a kill.
It's a kill. Wound. Kill.
But not to a clicker. He throws her aside, and then Riley comes out of nowhere to save her, hits her with something, or hits the clicker with something. Ellie! It's me and the clicker. We teamed up. He's going to Atlanta with me. I didn't know how to tell you. All right. So she hits the clicker, and then Ellie ends up stabbing the fucking thing in the head, and she's so happy about it. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, that's the reaction. You know, if you're 14, 15 and you
when I kill somebody, I
every time.
Every time.
Wow.
Like,
neat.
yes.
High fives.
But then Riley looks aghast down at Ellie's forearm. She's been bitten, and so has Riley. And they just fall to pieces with each other. And then we cut back briefly to Joel freezing in the cold of the basement, and Ellie's still waiting at the door. So the bookend of that flashback. And then she makes the decision. She's not going to lose somebody like that ever again. She starts frantically searching for anything that can help the situation in the house. And we cut back to Riley, who's sitting there kind of weighing the options, those two options Steve talked about, while Ellie is going apeshit, just destroying all the glass cases. And you know,
There was one really, I thought it was kind of sweet because Ellie is going apeshit on the glass cases, and Riley just earnestly says, there's more stuff over there you can break.
Yeah, she's like, you're processing this trauma in your own way, and I respect it.
I thought that was sweet.
And the rage that Ellie feels that, like, I finally got brave enough to see something of, you know, a small piece of joy out of this godforsaken world. And the moment that I reach that, you take it away from me forever. And that's the rage that she's experiencing. And it's powerful. But then Riley weighs their options and says, hey, we can kill ourselves right now, quick and painless. I don't want that option. Or we can just keep going together. You know, it might be 2 minutes, it might be 2 days, but I don't want to give that up. You know, it's what we have is worth whatever it's going to be. We just go crazy together. And then they hold each other and cry until it cuts back to the present with Ellie searching the kitchen. She finds a needle and thread in like the last drawer to stitch Joel up. And she goes down and begins to graphically stitch his wound as best she can. Doesn't look like she knows what she's doing. I don't even think she tied a knot. So I think the thread's just going straight through and coming out. And he's like, ah!
Yeah.
And the score is swelling. It's a beautiful score. And then that's the end of the episode. That's the end of Left Behind, which brings us to our top 3 favorite Fireflies. Steve, start us off. What's your number 3 favorite moment?
Number 3, coming in hot. It's Ellie discovering the escalator. This is just such a wonderful, lovely scene. I really love it anytime in the game and in the show when you just kind of let Ellie be a kid. Yeah. And just like seeing the childlike wonder of just stairs that move. She never has seen
stairs that move.
There are and honestly, we're spoiled, okay? As a society and human beings living here in our Lord's 2023.
We really did have it all, didn't we?
We have it all. We have stairs that fucking move. And that is incredible. And we should really just kind of step aside from time to time and just appreciate these stairs that move.
Some of them go up.
Some of them go down.
That's right, baby.
And you know what? The rails also go up with you. So if you time it right and put your body right, you can spin in between the two differing stairs. It's incredible. And I just love
you can spin. I've never done that.
I love when she's like, I'm coming to get you. And she like runs down and like runs into Riley. It's just, it's adorable. It's cute. It's fun. It's a much needed moment of levity in this show.
She don't know how to act. Jimmy, what's your number 3?
My number 3, I would agree with Steve. It would be that part, but really the moment the mall lights up and that shot where Ellie's looking over, and as it just section by section lights up, and you just see the child in her light. You know, she's never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And also the elevator. I think Steve nailed it when he was talking about that. Like she's a child. You know, she's 14 years old. She's never seen anything like this for something. So, you know, something we're so used to using, you know, and she's never seen it. Her acting like that, it just changes everything. And I was actually terrified of elevators or escalators when I was a kid. Real quick story.
Shoelace getting stuck in the top.
No, so my brother's like 5 years older than me, and he was sitting on them. I don't know. I was probably pretty young. I was like 5 or 6 maybe, and he was sitting on them. He rode them all the way up until it goes into the top, and he cut his ass cheeks. So he's got a scar on his butt. I would assume still has it from getting pinched.
Next time you see him.
Yeah, I'll put it on the website.
Discord?
Yeah.
We need an update. Discord needs an update.
But I was always terrified of that happening to me. So I would, you know, step over the top but
clench your cheeks every time to this day.
But I think about my brother's ass every time I see an escalator. So, yeah,
very people see stairs that move. Jimmy sees an ass.
Yeah, I see a chewed up ass cheek. Yeah, I really love that part. It's great to see Ellie acting like a kid, and that's really the whole point of this episode, or a large portion of it. So, yeah. Chris,
same. Mine is the lighting up of the mall / escalator. I tried to combine them both as well.
Wow, 3 for 3 on 3.
Nothing to add there. Steve, you're number 2.
My number 2 is the don't go scene where they're dancing on the glass cases with their Halloween masks, and then they remove the mask, and just, I don't know, like something about the way Bella Ramsey delivers that line, don't go, just wrecks me. And just how quickly Riley responds with the okay.
Yes.
For a moment there, you're just like, these kids are going to make it. God damn it, they're gonna make it. They're gonna have beautiful babies. They're gonna live this world.
It's like maybe they'll just change the adaptation, and then everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, for a second I thought, you know, they gave me hope that everything was gonna be okay. But of course, as we know, it's The Last of Us. It will not be okay.
Right.
But I really, really like that scene.
I agree with you. That was my second part. That the whole interaction between them two when she's basically begging her to tell her not to leave. And that's, I just played it today, and I really love that it's a DLC. I don't remember how much it costs, but there's real little action in the game. So
yeah, it's just you and Riley walking around.
Yeah, they put a bunch of effort into making this likable, like a story you just play, and that's pretty much it. You know, there are some action sequences, but for the most part, it makes you re-fall in love with these characters again. And it's a testament to the writing, right? But that line "don't go" is actually a trophy that you get when you beat the whole the DLC. So it's such a powerful moment. And I agree with Steve.
My number 2 is when Ellie is breaking shit. And the
whoa.
Jimmy's breaking shit.
Calm down. Well, and the cases and stuff in the room, but then Riley's speech thereafter. I think it's Storm Reed's absolutely incredible in delivering that. And I'm a big fan of hers from her work in the show Euphoria. She plays Zendaya's younger sister. So I knew she had it in her, not surprised at all, but it was really great to see her embody Riley. But yeah, even Bella Ramsey there, it's not easy to just have that anguished rage like that and not feel silly in a scene like that. And she nailed it. So that's my number 2. Steve.
That's a great number 2.
I think we probably flip-flopped our 1s and 2s, but maybe not. Steve, you're number 1.
My number 1 is the carousel scene.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I love the carousel scene because, you get some funny interplay between the two, but it's gorgeous. I love the cinematography of the scene. Like you get to see like the reflection of the dusty mirrors, and like the lights are all bokehing in the background.
Carousels are very cinematic.
They are. And you get a great song in there too. And they're kind of, they get on the carousel, they're having fun, they're having a moment. And then when the conversation kind of comes to a rest, and you just see kind of Ellie just looking at Riley, oh man, I felt that so much. Just the looking at someone you admire and care for that much about, and you're just looking at them, admiring them, but also just hoping to God that they look back at you. And it's just, I think they captured that feeling so perfectly in this moment, and it honestly was wonderful. It's a wonderful change from the game too, because in the game, Riley starts the carousel up, Ellie gets on, it's like, whoa, this is so awesome.
Yeah,
hey, get on with me. And Riley hops up, she gets on the horse next to you, and then the carousel immediately breaks down. And it's kind of funny because Riley's like, oh, I just got on. Right. And it's kind of a funny little scene, but you don't get this moment that you get in the show. And that's my number 1 is the carousel.
Awesome. And Jimmy?
My number 1 was when they realized that they both have been bitten. Specifically, when Riley notices Ellie's arm, there's a moment where Ellie looks down and she's trying to wipe away the wound. And I can imagine being in that situation, right? Just like you said earlier, like they've had such a great time. Things are looking up. She's agreed not to leave. And then your whole life just comes crashing down. And as a kid, you wish you could just wipe that shit away. Everything's ending, right? To what they know, they're going to be dead in a couple hours or a day. And the anger and fear on Bella Ramsey's face while she's doing that, it's fire. So that's what I liked.
Yeah. And so I didn't even think about processing the fact that she tried to wipe it. And the cool moment where Riley is the only one that knows that both of them have been bitten,
right?
And so she's kind of, but my number 1 is the don't go scene. Just the pulling off the mask. It's a real quick moment, but when it cut to the over the shoulder shot of Storm Reed's face, and that teary smiling relief when she asked her not to go, like, oh yes. It was a beautiful thing. It was very profound. I loved it. That's my number 1. On to our bullets and pills.
Pills, baby.
That's right. All the little things that we could catch. We'll go one by one, quick as a whippersnapper. I tried to think of an idiom, but the beans are out of the bag now. Steve, start us off.
When we first see Ellie in her room, some of the things you see in her room, a dinosaur drawing. Ellie loves dinosaurs, Savage Starlight comic, her pun book, and there's a photo of the moon because Ellie loves
space poster.
And those things are pretty important later on. Jimmy?
Did you guys hear the one about the cross-eyed teacher?
Are these all the puns?
He couldn't gain control of his pupils. I like the Walkman. The Walkman that she was wearing was a part of the game. She carries it around, so I thought that was a pretty neat pill or bullet,
whatever one you want to say.
Yeah.
In her room. Wait, you said the space poster. You said the Savage Starlight. What else did you say?
Dinosaur drawing.
There's a tape of Aha. There's an Aha tape.
Aha.
And that band is very important and is used again in this episode, but I won't take it to Steve.
Before Riley and Ellie leave, I think it's right before she leaves her room. Maybe it's shortly when they get on the street. But Ellie ties her hair up in a tie, which doesn't seem like anything important. But if you play the Left Behind DLC and you play as Ellie, she does that shit constantly. Yeah. And it's the same exact motion where she swipes her hands up and then ties it like that. And I was playing the game last night. I'm like, man, they really reuse that animation a lot. And then so when she started doing it, I almost had PTSD, like, she's doing it again.
That's funny. I noticed you typing after she did that, and I was like, I bet he's probably putting that, because I noticed that today. It's like every 15 minutes you're walking upstairs, she's like fixing her hair and shit.
Yeah.
So,
and it's weird. It's only in that one part of the whole game is like, if something's about that Left Behind DLC, Ellie's got to fix her hair.
So, what did the cannibal get when he came late to the dinner party?
What did he get?
Cold shoulder.
Wait, hold on. Which is... There we go. We're doing that one.
The Angel Knives Mortal Kombat correlation. Obviously, they couldn't say Mortal Kombat in the game, but the way that she describes it, it's Melina and Baraka, and then the Ultra Kill, which is the fatality, and then the fact that they actually got to play the game on the show is really cool.
Yeah, Angel Knives was a good cut.
Angel Knives,
knife hands. I think at the end, when Ellie was frantically going through the kitchen looking for something to help Joel, it reminded me a lot of looting.
What you do in that game?
Opening the drawers frantically.
You look for duct tape.
And most of them are empty.
Yeah. You look for duct tape. You look for alcohol. You look for scissors. You look for cloth.
Raindrops.
Little raindrops.
So I thought that was neat. Steve?
Let's see. The escalator moment in and of itself is also in the game. It's much quicker in the game. The first time when you turn the power on, Ellie will climb on an escalator. It's like, whoa, look at me, I'm going up. Yeah. And then Riley's a little like more like almost seasick by it. She's like clutching the side.
Yeah.
It's very, very quick. It's nowhere near as fun as this in the show, but I love how they're touching on all these big moments from the DLC.
Yeah. What is a pirate's favorite letter?
R?
'Tis the sea. I put the flashlight. Repeatedly in this episode, you see Ellie shaking her busted ass broken flashlight.
Yeah.
In the game,
Firefly flashlights are better.
Yeah. In the game, you got to shake the controller, which is a neat mechanic in the game.
That scared the shit out of me once because it went out and it was pitch black.
You got stalkers coming at you. And it's like
all that room in the trucks when you're trying to get the gas.
Oh yeah, I hate that part.
Yeah, for sure.
Those guys are creepy as fuck too. They're like,
yeah.
It's
What's
so
up?
weird.
You want to buy some candy?
They peek around corners, so like you'll see this big open room with a bunch of boxes, and then you just see like you kind of see things peeking around corners. You're like, fuck.
The light in the remaster or the remake is incredible because you see the glow in their eyes. So when like today when I was playing at that part, one's got his head poked around. She's like, oh fuck, stalkers. And all I seen, it looked like looking at your cat in the middle of the night. Like, oh god.
The shine in the lights.
Yeah, it's really bad news, Bears.
Shine in the lights, shine in the eyes. That's what I meant.
I just have some dumb ones now. Like you see her knife on the table in her dorm, which I thought was cool because they kind of focused the camera on it. But I don't know if this is anything, but because obviously it's also a mechanic of Mortal Kombat. But when they're playing, Riley says, flawless bullshit. Because when you have a flawless victory is when you don't get hit at all in Mortal Kombat. But as I recall, in Left Behind, you can actually get a trophy for not getting hit at all when you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Got that
as well. So
just saying.
Not to brag.
Yeah, not to brag.
Me too.
I got that shit.
As they're walking through the mall, they walk past a movie poster for Dawn of the Wolf, which in the original game, you walk by several of those posters. It is just an in-universe movie that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek dig at Twilight films. Because I think in the game, there's even a point where like Ellie's like, "You ever seen movies like that?" And Joel's like, "They're not really my thing."
He secretly loves them.
I'm Team Edward.
Did you hear the one about the frustrated magician?
No.
He pulled his hair out. The pun book, obviously. She gives it to you almost the exact same spot, which is cool. And I walked around Riley and just kept pressing the button until she was like, shut up. All right, I'm done with that.
Yeah, because you could read jokes for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. There's another section too, which wasn't in the show, where it's basically like a magic 8 ball, but it's the skeleseer.
Yeah, it's a skeleton, but it's a magic 8 ball.
Yeah, which I wore that out completely.
I love it so much because Ellie gets frustrated with it. Where she's like, "Will I do something?" And it's like, "No." It's like, "Oh, fuck you, Skeletor!" And like,
she's like, "Are you a butt face?" It's like, all signs point to no.
I'm cash out.
You're cash out?
Mm-hmm.
That's not real cash money of you.
No, it's not.
I got a couple more. I got the obviously the song "Take on Me," but that definitely alludes to the next game. But it was nice to see them kind of give a reason for Ellie to really like that song. So that was really cool. Do you have any more, Steve?
I have a ton more.
Go ahead.
When they're on the carousel, the song that's playing, the carousel music, what'd you call it? The Tink Tinks?
Tink Tinks.
The Tink Tink music is Just Like Heaven by The Cure. So like as soon as like show me
how you do that trick.
Yeah, immediately as they started playing, I'm like, oh, is this the greatest carousel ever? Might be.
Might be.
I still have a ton more.
Ping pong it.
The pipe bombs. Obviously, you make pipe bombs in the game. I thought that was neat that they actually showed some sort of jerry-rigged explosives.
I love how the pipe bombs in the game is just like a can of Campbell's with nails in it.
Yeah. Those things are dangerous too.
Yeah, they are.
The last one I had was the "I Got You, Babe," the song that they're dancing to. It's
by Etta James.
Yeah, definitely. It's in the game. I think that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, when they're in the photo booth, the UI that they're using is exactly the UI that's in the game, the bunny.
It's user interface.
Yes, thank you.
For those of you.
For those of you who don't know what UI is.
I didn't know.
The bunny in the show is wearing the sunglasses, which is the cool option
version.
Because in the game you can choose between cool, friends, or
love.
And depending on whichever one you pick, the bunny is slightly different.
Yeah.
So love, there are 2 bunnies. Friends, I think there's a bunny and a turtle.
What are the bunnies doing?
Making other bunnies.
Making other bunnies, baby.
And then the poses that they're doing are poses that you can do because you get the option. There's like 3 rounds of photos, and each round of photos you have an option of 2 to choose. And they have done 3 of the choices you could do, which are cool. The clicker that is kind of hanging out. This is kind of a cool Easter egg. The clicker, when it's hanging out, he's in like a creepy doll shop.
Likes dolls.
And in the DLC, the Left Behind DLC, Ellie is trying to find medicine for Joel in this mall in the present day. And she actually has to go into that doll shop because there is a clicker that is dead, sitting against the wall, growing, because that clicker was a pharmacist next door, and she needs the pharmacist's key to get into the pharmacy and get what she hopes is medicine for Joel. And it's like, it was just kind of cool that they included that small little bit that technically isn't in this timeline in the game, but they somehow got it in there, and it worked.
She's like, please don't wake up. Please.
I like
to
picture that he's just a man who like died waiting in Build-A-Bear.
Oh my God.
I told my boy I would get him a bear that talked. She mentions at one point, because Riley's like, hey, I got you a gift. She says, is it water pistols?
Yeah.
Because that's a big ongoing thing in the DLC, is that I guess the 2 of them had water pistols that they would play around with, but they kept getting confiscated at Fedra.
There's that little mini game that you do with her. I fucked her up.
Yeah, because in the game, the gift is she stole the water pistols back, and you have a little water pistol fight with Riley, which is ridiculously, it's kind of dumb how difficult it is. Because like I'll spray her with water, but it won't count. Like, you got to spray her for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that part's hard when you do the hide and seek part. It's super easy
because she just does the same route.
I just stayed in one spot, and then
she comes
running straight at you, and I just sniped her with the Super Soaker 2000.
Yeah. She's like, oh, how'd you find me? It's like, maybe mix up your route, right?
Yeah. Pretty shitty Firefly, for real.
The Halloween shop. It's kind of cool because in the show they married the Halloween shop with the dancing scene.
Yeah.
Because in the game, the Halloween shop is its own separate entity. They go around, they put on those same exact masks.
Did you find all the masks?
I did. Yeah. They're fun.
Yeah.
You find the mask, you interact with Skeletor, but there's one thing I kind of like about an added detail to the Halloween shop that the show adds, and I don't think the game ever touches on. But I guess it kind of does. But I love it. It's that in the game, there are several times with Joel or at least one other time, where you come across like a Halloween store with Joel, and Ellie's like, I kind of hate this stuff. I don't really like this stuff. I don't like it. And I like the idea of this show planting that she doesn't like Halloween stuff because that's where all this shit happened with her and Riley.
Yeah.
Which isn't what happens in the game, but I kind of like how this show kind of makes that make sense.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really neat way of marrying the two locations together.
So was it like the second episode? Did they see?
Oh, I don't think in the TV show she's mentioned hating Halloween stuff.
It hasn't come up yet.
But that was the thing in the game.
Yeah.
Like, because I think in the first game you go into a Halloween shop with Joel, and I think in the second game you might do
go into one
with
with Dina.
And both times she's like, I never understood Halloween. I don't like it. But it doesn't explain why. I like the idea of the show explaining it's why, because this happened with Riley.
Yeah.
And then, I think that's it. That's it. The other thing we talked about earlier was the Pearl Jam song.
Killing it, man. Crushing it.
Crushing it.
By the way,
I played it like 4 hours ago.
Another Easter egg. Do you know what the Pearl Jam is?
What is the Pearl Jam?
Do you know?
Is it the pearl
Is this a
drumstick
pun?
tips?
Pearl Jam it's a semen joke.
I was gonna say that. It's like a Limp Biscuit.
Pearl Jam.
Like Limp Biscuit.
Sort of. A little less gross. It's just the cum.
What's flavored hot dog water?
Hot dog flavored water. I don't know what that is, but I know what a chocolate starfish is.
No. So now, our outbreak performance to cap off the episode.
Fred Durst.
Did any among us not choose Storm Reed?
I did choose her.
I chose Bella.
You chose Bella. I mean, like I said, it's 50-50. Awesome. Well, go ahead, Steve. Talk about your Bella.
I just think Bella, I just identified so much with her role, and from her pure glee of being on the escalator, playing video games, the "don't go" line is just fucking crushing.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way she's looking at Riley the whole time. Like, I thought this episode, if you weren't sold on Bella Ramsey as Ellie before, I don't know how you can't be sold on her after this episode, because she everything that is Ellie, her precocious childlike wonder at things, her humor, her absolute fucking rage that she has inside of her, her stubbornness, it's all in here, and Bella Ramsey is just crushing in it. So that's why she's my outbreak performance.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer except maybe Bethany for an outbreak performance.
Fucking Carol.
Carol.
I've waxed poetically as much as I can probably about how well I think Storm Reed did. And especially with her being in the show such a short time, I had to give her a streamy. I just had to.
Yeah.
Jimmy, do you have anything to add about Storm Reed?
I think I really like these characters that are just, one and done, right? With Frank and Bill, with both of them, some of the other one-off characters, but they make such a powerful impact. Sarah in the first episode.
Kind of Tess. I mean, she's only in like 2.
They just make a really powerful impact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Forgot about those guys.
Sam and Henry.
So yeah, I think she killed
huge
it.
Impact.
It shed a lot of light on for those of you that haven't played the game. It sheds a lot of light on Ellie and why she is kind of the way she is, and I think she handled the thing awesome.
I do want to ask you guys before we move on, the way the Riley Ellie storyline ends is almost exactly like how it ends in the game, where they kind of sit together, they talk about their options, they decide they're going to spend every possible moment they can together before they turn. There's that really great line that Riley has, like, we can get all poetic and shit and
lose our minds
together. Like, that's a great line.
Yeah.
And then it cuts. We actually never see in the game and in the show, at least so far, we never actually see the final moments between the two of them. And I just want to get your guys' opinion on that choice. Because I know what I feel, but I'm interested in what you guys think.
I think it's the right choice because it kind of ruins things if you have to see like the way that you see Sam. That's what you think of now is like the, little rabbit boy, and we get this beautiful complex moment between Riley and Ellie. And that would be so ruined if they turned it into an action scene with Riley, like after all that they've been through, we can imagine it. We know that Ellie probably had to do it. Or maybe she just left her there, like locked in her room to just like shroom out,
Shrooming out.
Shroom out.
Which we've all done that with our crazy hippie friends. Know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that should be the indelible image of that relationship that you need in your mind.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we want to remember them, at least her, like that in that moment, right? You don't want them to ruin it with her acting all crazy or seeing Ellie shoot somebody.
Think about Jimmy. Like,
think about me.
He can't imagine his brother's asshole.
Yeah. I never saw I guess it was a hole.
All he can think of is the mangled ass.
The mangled
it's ruined forever.
Every time he sees an escalator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it when I saw this show.
Just imagine if your brother was sitting on the escalator going up, having the time of his life because these are stairs that move.
I was like, Ellie, don't sit down.
And you looked away and didn't see his ass get mangled.
That's it.
Yeah.
That'd be a happy memory.
It would.
That's how we want to remember your brother's ass.
Yeah, we definitely do. I definitely didn't want her to sit down. That's all I kept thinking about. Don't sit down, Ellie.
That's it. So,
yeah, no, I 100% agree with you guys. Because we all know, because Ellie's still here. She's immune.
Right.
We know that had to happen.
Spoiler.
Like it, we know that something had, like, Riley obviously turned. She's not on the show. She obviously turned, and Ellie already mentioned that she has killed someone before. It's most likely Riley, because if she's sticking around with her best friend thinking they're going to turn together and she doesn't,
right?
Like, it's almost more heartbreaking to let your imagination think of how that plays out. That's almost like an old horror trope, like don't show the monster because it's more scary.
Sure.
But like this moment is almost more devastating by not seeing it. But like you said, you get to see the friendship and love for what it was, and you didn't have to. It's like Bill and Frank did this.
Yeah.
They went and closed the door. Don't look at us the way
Yep.
we are now. Just remember us the way we were as we lived. And I think that is a beautiful thing. That
Plus, we left the window open because it's probably stank.
Smells like sex.
Joel, I don't like you, but I want you to know I don't want you to let the stink out. It would be very bad.
And yeah, so that brings us our time to a close here on episode 7, Left Behind. Please tune in next week. We've got episode 8 and then 9. Believe it or not, that's how numbers work.
When does 9 come first?
No.
Tricky.
What?
What? And if you're interested, we're still continuing to cover Yellow Jackets with our dear friend Madison all the way up until March, I think 24th, but the internet is conflicting on that.
Yeah, bear down.
Bear down on that, but we're going to be covering that all the way through season 2. I don't know how much time we'll have, but we are aware that a tiny show a couple of you are into called Mandalorian season 3 comes out soon. But we're booked solid. I don't know what we're going to do, but Steve's very excited. I'm sure we'll talk about it as much as we can. Lots of good stuff coming down the horizon. But until next time, my name is Chris.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things. Happy streaming.
It's the end of the episode in the month of February, the month of love. So it's time to show some love to our brand new patrons this month. In our Try Before You Deny section, we welcome David Malfara. The Marty B VIP producers, we welcome Tanmay Jane, Garrett Pratt, Michael Brook, Professor Beth RN, Veronica, Ode Bionkers, Ibsliz, Droog, Samuel T, Drew Watkins, Brett Logue, Joseph Bowen, Kaylee Sampson, Nick, and Stephanie Bennett. In the chocolate pudding producers section, we welcome none other than Renzo20, Claudia Garver, Kristen Glenn, Amanda Brown, John Cavett, Bruce Cullum, Maria Rojas, Candace Hensley, Logan Loftus, Hannah W., Kenneth Singletary, Matthew Unden, Carol Ann Quinn, Dan Wells, Max Grabinski, Kelly Nealon, Hannah T.S., Aurelio Reyes, Valerie Frazier, and Andrew Edelman. And finally, in the Friends Don't Lie producers tier, we welcome Baby Bella Twinkie Butt of Spotty Bottom. Maybe the greatest patron name in the history of patron names. And that has been our brand new patrons that we want to show our love to. Thank you.